Most of India recognizes these laterite walls, from the iconic song to Hire. But Bekal Fort was a legend long before Maniratnam's cameras arrived. Shaped like a massive keyhole jutting into the Arabian Sea, this is Kerala's largest coastal stronghold. Bekal Fort stands on the northern coast of Kerala in Kasargod district. A 40-acre engineering marvel designed to lock down the world's most lucrative spice routes. Before you even step through the main gates, you meet the fort's spiritual guardian, the ancient Anjaneya temple. In many South Indian military traditions, Hanuman symbolized strength, courage, and protection. Soldiers would offer prayers before taking up defensive positions or leaving on military expeditions. A short walk away stands an old mosque dating to the period when the fort remained in active military use. It is a symbol of the fort's multi-layered history. Long before the massive laterite walls were constructed, this headland was under the control of Kolatri Rajas of northern Malabar. Following the decline of the Vijayanagara Empire in the late 16th century, the Ikkeri Nayakas expanded their influence along the Malabar coast. Bekal was already an important coastal settlement and port. Historians believe an earlier fortification, most likely built of mud and timber, stood here to guard maritime trade and protect the coastline. Recognizing the strategic and economic importance of Bekal, they transformed the older fortification into the massive stone fortress that we see today. Construction was begun by Hiriya Venkadappa Nayaka and completed by his successor Shivappa Nayaka. The fort remained under the Keladi rulers until 1763 when Hyder Ali of Mysore captured this region. His son Tipu Sultan later strengthened Bekal as an important military station during his campaign in Malabar. Following Tipu Sultan's defeat in 1799 during the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, the British East India Company took control of the fort and used it for colonial administration before gradually abandoning its military role. As you enter the fort, you may note that this entrance is a massive zigzag that was designed to slow down attackers. They could not charge straight in. They had to keep changing direction while defenders shot down at them from above. Why have these walls survived 350 years of brutal monsoon rains and salty sea winds? The secret is in the stone itself. It's a locally quarried laterite. When it's first cut, it's soft as clay, but once it breathes the salty air, it undergoes a transformation. It hardens into an indestructible rock that actually gets stronger with age. It is an engineering choice that has kept these walls standing while others crumbled. This was a fortress designed for absolute defense. Look closely at these openings in the ramparts. They aren't just windows, they are overlapping fields of fire. The top row was for snipers to pick off distant ships, the middle for the shoreline, and the bottom for anyone daring enough to try and climb these cliffs. Dominating the entire landscape is this Tipu Sultan's massive circular observation tower. From up here, the view is not just beautiful, it was tactical. Guards could watch for approaching enemy ships through strategically placed observation openings, giving the fort valuable time to prepare its defenses. Once an approaching threat was identified, military operations had to be coordinated quickly. Although no palace survives above ground today, excavations by Archaeological Survey of India uncovered the foundations of a Durbar hall, administrative buildings, and residential quarters. These discoveries reveal that Bekal was not just a military outpost. It was a hidden seat of power for the Ikkeri Nayakas, buried under layers of time. Nearby are the remains of structures that once supported the fort's military operations, including storage areas for arms and equipment. Keeping weapons close at hand ensured that soldiers could respond quickly whenever the fort came under attack. But weapons alone were not enough. Near the base of the observation tower is an underground powder magazine where gunpowder was stored. Built partly below ground, it remained cooler and drier despite Kerala's humid climate. The thick laterite walls and the earth covering the structure also acted as a protective barrier, reducing the risk of a catastrophic explosion if enemy fire struck nearby. I wondered how the soldiers survived a months-long siege. The builders designed a genius water management system. Near the observation tower is a circular stepped well that allowed access to water even as the water level changed through the year. Further along the fort, you will come across a much larger stepped water tank that collected and stored rainwater. Together, these structures helped supply fresh water to the troops during prolonged sieges when access to the mainland could be cut off. And if the fort was ever on the verge of falling, a network of underground tunnels designed as a final contingency, a secret path for a king to vanish if the walls were ever breached. ASI has landscaped much of the interior with lawns, shaded paths, and seating areas. The contrast between the dark military architecture of the laterite walls and the carefully maintained gardens makes this one of the most peaceful sections of the fort. Many visitors stop here simply to enjoy the sea breeze and watch waves crashing against the rock below. The walk ends at Bekal's famous sea bastion. Built on a rocky projection extending into the Arabian Sea, this circular sea bastion formed the fort's frontline naval defense. The steep sea-facing cliffs provided a natural barrier, reducing the need for artificial defenses on that side, while the elevated ground offered commanding views in every direction. Cannons positioned here would engage hostile ships before they approached the shoreline, making it one of the most strategically important parts of the entire fortress. Today, Bekal Fort stands as one of India's finest surviving coastal fortifications. Its walls preserve the history of the Keladi rulers, Mysore Kingdom, and the British East India Company. More than 3 centuries after its construction, Bekal continues to offer visitors an opportunity to explore both the military history and the natural beauty of India's southwest coast. If you're planning a visit, Bekal Fort is open daily from 8 in the morning till 5:30 in the evening. The open grounds receive strong sunlight throughout the day, so carrying drinking water, a hat, or an umbrella is highly recommended. After a day spent inside the heavy laterite walls, there's no better way to process the history of Bekal than watching the water from here. If you're planning a visit, I highly recommend staying near the backwaters. It completes the experience in a way the fort alone cannot. The Malabar coast has so many layers of history hidden in its stones. If you enjoy discovering the engineering of Bekal, you might find the rock-cut mysteries of the south just as fascinating. I'll leave that journey right here for you to explore next.